Today, I'm going to prove that magic is real and that pro footballers are the ones who hold all the secrets. I'm going to prove it by taking this pair of Vapor IXs, this pair of Vapor VIIs, and doing this. And by the power of Alexis Sanchez, we get this. A very special combination boot reserved for only those that truly have the power. What's up guys, I'm James and welcome to BootWizard Boot Reviews. Today we are into part 3 of my Pro Custom Match Worn Player Boots series in collaboration with BC Boots UK. So you can check out their website, bcboots.uk, which has the most incredible array of match worn player boots for sale, or check out their Instagram at bcbootsuk. I'm very thankful to them for sending over this pair of Alexis Sanchez custom Vapor IXs. Or are they Vapor VIIs? Remember to like the video, remember to get subscribed because I do have more Pro Custom player boots coming soon. And let's jump into it and see what the difference is between this Vapor IX and what you and I could pick up off the shelves. So let's start with the upper. Now I happen to own a pair of Vapor IXs in exactly the same colorway as the Alexis Sanchez ones. So if we take my Vapor IXs and the Sanchez boots and we put them side by side, you cannot tell the difference. These two boots look exactly the same on the upper. There's no way of telling unless you look at the personalization where Sanchez has the Chilean flag on the medial side of the boot and the AS9 on the lateral side. And that's the same for both of his boots. So they might look the same, but you and I, we're not that gullible here on BootWizard. We know that companies can do a lot of things to customize players' boots while keeping them looking like the retail version that you and I can buy. So is that the case here? So again, we'll take the retail version. It's a very thin Tasian synthetic upper that has that golf ball-like dimpling all around the boot. Very minimal in terms of the liner, but it's a consistent liner that runs all the way down the boot, and then a synthetic leather in the back third of the boot and running through the heel with very little padding. The Alexis Sanchez boot is basically the same. There is very little, if any, difference here at all. It's still the Tasian synthetic. It's still got that golf ball-like texturing. It does feel a little softer than my boot for sure, but that could be down to wear. These boots have definitely been worn on multiple occasions by Sanchez, so they feel a little bit nicer, but they could just be worn in more. The material's the same thickness, the liner's the same, the heel liner's the same, the padding is the same. In terms of technical materials that are on the upper of this boot, he has not got anything different from what you and I could go down the shops and buy. Now the Sanchez boots are a size smaller approximately from my retail pair, so you'd also expect them to be a little bit narrower. And that is the case, however these seem to be significantly narrower, and especially through the heel area. So I would anticipate that Alexis Sanchez actually has quite a narrow foot, and there's no doubt that even though the upper is exactly the same here, Nike have custom built this around a last that is specifically designed for Alexis Sanchez's foot. I would love to put these on, but they are a size too small for me, approximately. And I say approximately for a reason. There is no size tag in either one of these boots. So these boots, when they're made, as I say, on a custom last, and it will be in Italy at the Montebelluna factory, which is where Nike do all of their pro customizations. And in this case, it's a custom size, it's just for Sanchez, and there's no need for a size tag because these were never going on sale in this size with any information. You don't need codes or creation dates or anything like that. So you've heard it said before that nearly everybody has one foot that's a different size to the other. And we can look here at the Sanchez boots and you can see that one boot is a little bit shorter and seems to fit a little bit narrower than the other ones. That's a really good indication that these have been custom made to Sanchez's feet, and the guys over at BC Boots UK have done a great job and they've measured these up, so we do know that they're approximately a size UK 7 if you're interested in knowing what size his feet actually are. So far, not too crazy. We've just got a custom fitted pair of Vapor 9s, not even a hint of some extra stitching or maybe a different texture to the upper. It's just a Vapor 9, but it's not. The fireworks are still to come because this particular configuration that we've got here was only worn by some of the very top end pros. Nike did not let many people have this setup. Sanchez, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jesus Navas are 3 of the players, Pedro as well, 4 of the players who got this setup, and this setup is a Vapor 9 upper, but with a Vapor 7 outsole. So if we spin these over and take a look at my pair of Vapor 9s, the retail pair, you can see that it is that standard glass fiber outsole with the 2 studs in the heel and then the stud configuration up in the top here, which has fewer studs than what you would have found on a pair of Vapor 7s. So this is a retail pair of Vapor 7s, 4 studs in the heel, still got the glass fiber outsole, and then these pairs of studs that run through the forefoot of the boot. So we take Sanchez's Vapor 9s/7s, Vapor 8.5s, I don't know. So again, you can see that the actual sole plate, the material looks very, very similar, and it basically will be, but it's completely different. It is the Vapor 7 sole plate. It's not like it's been completely customed in some specific way with the Vapor 7 stud pattern. It is the Vapor 7 sole plate. The strengthening and stiffening is all in the same places. The way that the stud housings are attached to that sole plate is exactly the same, and you get those 4 studs in the heel and then those pairs of studs that run around the forefoot of the boot. It's absolutely identical. So in essence, what we've got here is a retail Vapor 7 and a retail Vapor 9 smashed together to create a perfect boot for a pro player. This is absolutely not uncommon either. A lot of pro players have an upper from a newer boot with an older sole plate that's just a feeling that they really like. The traction and the feeling is really important to a lot of pro players, that it's consistent. So they stick with the same sole plate over and over and over again while maintaining the upper. And that's good for the brands as well, because they can customize for a pro player without having to try and disguise the upper, because realistically we don't get to see the sole plates a lot when they're playing, unless it's people like you and me who are stood at a microscope trying to find boot things instead of watching the game. But it's a nice simple switch, and it's a technology they already have. They already have all of these elements for the Vapor 7. Putting it on a Vapor 9 is not too difficult. There's loads of examples of this. Raheem Sterling's a great example. Very recently, BC Boots have a pair of his boots. He has a Nike Phantom Venom with a Tiempo sole plate. James Milner, he's another player that really likes the Tiempo sole plate on his boots. So this is not an uncommon thing to happen. So why did Sanchez go for the Vapor 7 outsole? Well, we can only speculate, and normally it would be, as I said, for consistency and an enjoyment of a feel of a particular sole plate. In this instance, because so many of those top Nike athletes got it, including Ronaldo, it could be something to do with just the extra stability that is offered through large portions of the Vapor 7 outsole. The Vapor 9 could be a little unstable with that 2-stud layout in the heel area. Personally, it's a setup I really like, but I can see the appeal of taking this particular stud pattern. So taking a look inside the boots, the Sanchez ones, as I've said, there's no extra padding, the liner is exactly the same, it is the same setup as the retail Vapor 9, and that rolls through to even the midsole area of the boot. Down that boot is exactly the same as the retail version of the Vapor 9. Now, you may have expected that to match up with the Vapor 7, considering it has the Vapor 7 outsole, but that's not the case. It still matches up identically to what you get on the retail version of the Vapor 9. in this internal area of the boot, we know that a lot of pros like to have extra padding, extra cushioning, or extra stiffening elements added. And that's not the case with these Sanchez boots. They're exactly the same as you get on the retail Vapor IX. We saw that Aguero and James Rodriguez had extra stiffening and extra padding added. The Oliver Norwood boots I covered, they have extra padding. And this could be my mind playing tricks on me, but I think that these are actually a little more flexible than a regular release Vapor IX, or more comparably, Vapor VII. There's just more give through the midfoot and the toe box. It just doesn't seem quite as stiff or quite as springy. Now again, I did say earlier that I think these have been worn quite a lot, so that's obviously going to make the material more flexible as time goes on. But there is a good chance that these boots are also slightly more flexible than what you'd have got based on Sanchez's own personal requirements. You may have also noticed that I haven't shown you the insoles for these yet, and there's a very good reason for that. And the reason is, they didn't come with any. And that is a very common thing when you pick up pro player boots. Every pro, especially top level pros, have custom made insoles, and they're usually very expensive. There's usually carbon fiber elements to them, and they're built around their foot, and they're full orthotics, and they're just beautiful things. If you and I could have them in our boots, we 100% would. So if you're a pro player, why wouldn't you have it instead of this flimsy bit of foam? So no insoles for the Sanchez boots. So wait, in this series so far we found that pro player boots tend to be a little bit heavier because of the extra stuff they've had added, and generally pros don't seem to care about having the lightest boot possible. Let's see if that's the case with these. So here is the Sanchez boots, and they come in at 183 grams. Remember, that's roughly a size UK 7. Let's drop the other Vapor IX on. So this is my retail pair. It's a UK 8, and I have taken the insoles out to try and match these up, basically. Also 183 grams. So they're a size bigger. There's obviously different elements of wear, they've both got different elements of customization, but they weigh exactly the same amount. So not much of a difference there, despite the fact that they've got a completely different sole plate. Now let's put the Vapor 7s on here, and of course we would anticipate that again without the outsole they're going to be a bit heavier, because the boot was a bit heavier, and they are. 206 grams. Nice and straightforward. So there's nothing spectacular about the weight on these Sanchez ones, and the difference between this UK 7 pair of his boots and my UK 8 retail pair is nothing. And they've got completely different sole plates. Alexis Sanchez, just really not that fussy about the upper of his boots, or did he, like most of us, just really enjoy the Vapor IX upper? Let me know which one you think it is down in the comments. And now today it's really important that you get subscribed, because in my hands is a pair of boots previously owned by Philippe Coutinho. These boots are the ones that Nike made for him after he had cut the holes in the back of the heels. So using this boot, we're going to debate, we're going to look at why he cut the holes in the back, what Nike did to stop him having to do that, and we're finally going to get an answer to why on earth you would cut a hole in the back of your boot. And this poor little boot here may meet a grisly end as we test out what happens when we cut a hole in the back of your football boots. Do like the video if you do enjoy this pro custom boot series, and if you want to support the channel, please head over to patreon.com/bootwizard. It makes a huge difference. And of course, another huge thank you to BC Boots UK for sending over these Sanchez and the future Video Coutinho boots. I couldn't have done it without them, so go over to their website, head over to their Instagram, follow and check out what they've got. But that's all from me here today. I hope you've enjoyed it, have a good one, and we'll see you soon.